welcome to Read Alouds with Miss Castle. I'm so excited to see you today. And we're going to read another story by Jory John. I cannot wait for you to be introduced to these two amazing characters today. But before I introduce you to the story, I want us to learn just a little bit more about Jory John and some of the amazing awards that he has gotten. So come along with me and we're going to learn a little bit more and then read our awesome story of the day. Okay, scholars, so we have been talking about Jory John this week. And now we're going to talk about some of the accomplishments or some of the awards that Jory is known for from all of the books that he has written. One thing that he got, which is really hard to get, is a medal on his books, which means when you see his book, you're going to see a circle on it that is silver. The silver circle that's going to be on his book stands for something. And when you see a book that has one of those on it, you know that that is a really good book. He has the award called the E.B. White Read Aloud Honor Award. That means that somebody first thinks his book is so great that it needs to be known that this is one of the best read alouds you could ever do with somebody. Second, they think that this person wrote a great book and they want everybody to know that this book is so great. What happens is only 4 books a year get chosen to win the E.B. White Read Aloud Honor Award. So when you see a book that has that silver medallion on it that says E.B. White Read Aloud Honor, you know that this book is a great read aloud, which means you should definitely try it out and see if you like the book as well. Another thing that he is known for is being a New York Times bestseller. So everyone who writes books, if it's children's books, adult books, any kind of book, anyone that writes a book can be ranked by the New York Best Times selling list, which means if you are on the best selling list and you're number 1, that means you are like the top dog. You are the best of the best. So this book that we're going to read today was number 1 best-selling. Also, the book that we read on Monday, The Bad Seed, is also a number 1 bestseller according to the New York Times by Jory John. Almost all of the books he has written, he has been on the number 1 best-selling list because his books are just that great. I love them. I know that you've been enjoying them too because they're so funny. So when you look at books, I have a challenge for you. Look at the covers to see, do you have any of those awards on them, any of those circle awards? Because those usually mean that it is a super good book. So that's a challenge for you on your own time to see. Do I ever have any books that have that silver medallion on them? Or have I ever seen a book that has a silver medallion on them? Today, we're going to talk about the feeling of being exhausted. Because in our story, our main character is exhausted. What does it mean to be exhausted? Yeah, you're right. Being exhausted means that you're too tired. You're so wiped out. You feel so tired and exhausted. Think about a time that maybe you felt exhausted. Let me hear. Ooh, that sounds so exhausting. I get why you felt exhausted. I have a sentence as well. Kivana was exhausted after her math sprint in Zern, which means she worked so hard on Zern that after she did that math sprint for 1 minute, working super hard on those math facts, she was exhausted. She worked her brain so hard that she was exhausted when she was done. Let's see today, when is our character exhausted? And who is the character that is exhausted? So when we read today, I have a couple things I want you to look for. You ready to hear them? First, I want to know who are the main characters in the story. Today, it's not just one character, it's 2. So I want to know who the 2 main characters are in the story. And how are they different? So I want you to pay attention to who's the one telling the story at different times. Sometimes it's going to be one character, and sometimes it's going to be another. And they're very different characters. So I want you to think about which one's maybe the exhausted character. Which one's the other character? Think about it while we read, because I'll be asking you afterwards which one's which. So remember, think about who is the one that's exhausted. You ready to see which story we're going to read today? I am. It is Good Night Already. Oh, and do you see on our cover? It has the silver medallion on it saying that, hey, this is a best book to read. I see the silver medallion, point to it. Yes, that's why it was an award-winning book. So come along with me as we read our award-winning book, Good Night Already. Good night already. Bear and Duck were neighbors. 101 Ways to Stay Awake. Sounds like a good book. I've never been so tired. I could sleep for weeks, months even.
Scholars, who are the two characters we just were introduced to? And which one is exhausted? And what evidence tells you that they are exhausted?
I've never been so awake. I wonder what good old Bear's up to. I can't wait to sleep. Here we go. Yes. Bear, it's me, Duck. Open up. Come on, buddy. What is it, Duck? I was fast asleep. Hey, I'm bored. You want to hang out? You want to play cards? No. Watch a movie? No. Start a band? No. Make smoothies? No. Talk all night? No. Play cards? You already said that. Read books to each other? No. Fine. Good night already. Whatever. Bed. Yes. Almost asleep. Psst. Bear, it's Duck from next door. What? I want to make some cookies. Can I borrow some sugar? No. Butter? No. Dough? No. Salt? No. Butter? You already said that. Can I borrow some cookies then? No. Good night already. That duck always bothering me. I need to get some new neighbors. Later though. Too tired. Must sleep. Dong dong. How on earth? I used my spare key. That was for emergencies. Well, this is an emergency. What? What is it, Duck? What's the emergency? I stubbed my beak, see? Duck, you've got to stop waking me up. Out, now. But I said good night already.
What other feeling words can we use to describe Bear?
Bear is so grumpy. His bad attitude is making me tired. Once upon a time, there was a I've never been so awake. The end. I just loved that story. Oh, it was so good. Those characters are so different from each other, and one person was getting so cranky. Ooh. Who are the main characters in our story? There's two of them. Let me hear. Number one. And who's the other one? You're right. It was Bear and Duck. Bear and Duck. Which was the character that was exhausted? You're right. It was Bear. Why do you think Bear was so exhausted in our story? Let me hear. Yeah. So first, we knew at the beginning of the story that Bear was already tired. We already knew Bear was tired. And then he wasn't able to sleep because who? Yes, Duck. Because Duck kept waking him up. Do you like being woken up during your night's sleep? I don't. Oh goodness, no. When I heard about this story, it reminded me of what I deal with at night too. Sometimes in my apartment, the people above me walk around and I can hear them stomping their feet while I'm trying to sleep. They're walking and all I hear is, and I'm trying to sleep. And it's so hard. I'm always like, good night already. Stop stomping. So maybe that's what happened with him too. He was just like, ugh, good night already. Quit bothering me. Quit talking. I'm trying to sleep, buddy. Who knows? But that is the story. Good night already. Okay, scholars, that is the end of our read aloud time for today. I want you to click the link below and fill out. Did you get the correct character that was exhausted? And have you ever been exhausted before? And why? I would love to see your response as why you were exhausted and if you figured out which character was the one that was exhausted in our story. I cannot wait to see your responses, and I'll see you here tomorrow as we read another story by Jory John. See you then!